Now. All right, so welcome to the Transforming Nation podcast. And today we got a special guest, a very, very special guest, Nicholas Curry. This is my very first interview, so I know this is your first time being interviewed, so I felt that it'd be good for me to do my inaugural interview. We could have our inaugural interviews together, and have that moment together, because you done did so many interviews with me in the past and got me all on front covers of newspapers and stuff. So I feel like it's only right to pay homage and get you on the show. So I wanted to do a Transforming Nation podcast series about Black men and Black women, or just people from the hoods, poor communities. When I say the hood, I just mean like underserved, underprivileged communities, the hoods, Inglewood, we from the south side of Chicago, different communities just all across the country, just that come from there, that's actually doing something well, doing something positive in life, So a lot of times we hear about all the bad things and all the bad people that come from these neighborhoods, our neighborhoods, but we never really shed light on the everyday heroes, the heroes that's kind of unspoken. So you're the first, like the Unspoken Hero series, that's what I call it. So it's an honor. So first, I want you to introduce yourself to everybody and let everybody know who you are.
And to those who don't know me, I'm Nicholas Curry, born and raised Southside Chicago, just like my bro Ronald here. Well, I'm a teacher, I'm a journalist, I'm a writer, and I love my job being an educator. Growing up in Chicago public schools helped mold me, and I'm just trying to do the same. I'm living in North Carolina now, but, just trying to be here, for those students as well, and give my all and, pour into, like people poured into me, bro.
Oh, man, that's dope. So tell us a little bit about your background as far as like your education. Where did you attend school?
Okay. Well, start with the college. So actually, when I left John Hope, after 10th grade, I went to DeVry Advantage Academy High School, across the street from Lane Tech. And my friend Saviano also. So we received our high school diplomas and our associate's degrees at the same time, bro. So
hold on.
Yeah.
So you was graduating from high school with an associate's degree?
Yeah, we had our high school graduation, and then 2 weeks later, we had our DeVry University graduation. So we got associates 2 weeks later.
Oh, wow.
Yes, sir. So I could have went into college, like undergrad, with like 70 credits. So I could have went straight to college at 17 or 18 as a junior, like a junior in college, but I didn't want to do that.
Oh, okay.
My dad, I was like, I wanted to enjoy, the whole 4 years.
4 years, right.
It was a little inconsiderate, to my dad, because he paid for it, bro. But I was just trying to get that experience. So graduated from Fisk University, 2013, Nashville, Tennessee, Black College, one of the most prestigious. And then 3 years later, 2016, graduated from Clark Atlanta University with a master's in African American Studies. And I am currently attending online University of Phoenix for a master's in elementary education, bro.
Oh man, that's dope, man. You're a decorated Black man, so we gotta give our people our flowers while they here.
Yeah,
and
appreciate it, bro.
I salute that, man, because the fact that you was graduating from high school with a college degree already put you a step ahead of so many people. With people that don't even have high school diplomas, and you was getting a high school diploma and a degree at the same time. So definitely
shout out Quavo.
Quavo at 29. So shout out to him for that. But from your perspective, like, what was it like growing up as a teen in Chicago?
It was scary, bro, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I had a lot of great, experiences, I guess being with my family and my friends, but it was scary, but being, a young man who did not participate in gangs, right?
Okay.
So, having to ride CTA public transportation from north side to south side. Once I transferred to DeVry was all the way up north. So, I had to take the red line from 69th to Beltline. So, going through all the different neighborhoods and, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not gangs and stuff like that. It was scary. It was scary. Just trying to worry about, how you're gonna get home. Get home safe.
Right.
I don't want no drama, bro. I'm just trying to go to school and go home. And you have people, they ain't care. If you
Right.
wanted trouble or not, they was on dummy. You feel me? So I would say it was beautiful. Like if you asked me if I could spend my teenage years in another city, like if I could go back, would I pick any other city? I would say no. Because even though I
Right.
said it was scary, the experiences and the critical thinking, just growing up in the hood, like
Mm-hmm.
the critical thinking skills that you have to, uh, you learn just from experience. I don't take that back. I feel like it helped mold me into the man I am. I feel like I'm a man because of the things that I've witnessed, just growing up in the city. So
Definitely.
I would say it was scary, but I'm grateful for the experiences that I had.
No, that's deep. And kind of I want you to kind of expound on when you say like you was it was scary. Like what, like when you say scary, like was it like because I know how it is, like going through all these different neighborhoods and
Right,
going through having to go through all these different gangs and going through like notoriously dangerous neighborhoods, not like just these neighborhoods that's on the news now that people that we hear about, like the worst parts of the city, and you having to
right,
travel through them and navigate through these streets without having any gang affiliations, without having any ties to any type of neighborhood or clique or set or anything like that. So from how like scary was like because you have to do it. You got to go to school. You got
right,
to go outside. You got to
right.
get there and you got to get back. So was it traumatic? How did you cope with it? How did you, like what did you do to get through it in a time? Like how did you, cope through the process?
That's a great question, bro. I would say I daydream. High school
Mhm.
was kind of boring for me,
Right.
because since I was young, I knew I wanted to go to Fisk, but I knew I was going to go to a black college, even if it wasn't
Okay.
Fisk. So my dad graduated from Fisk, and he would take me, to the homecomings and all that stuff. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying I always picture myself in the next phase of life. You
Right.
feel me?
Yeah.
Chicago high school was just temporary for me. Like, let me
You
hurry up
already
and
saw past that.
did.
Right.
So, being on public transportation, all those experiences, you feel me, was just it was something I had to do, right? It was like a
Right.
milestone. Like I had to, go to school. You had
Mhm.
to finish freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year, then you can get to the next phase. So I
Right.
think on a train, those long train bus rides, I really was just brainstorming. I mean, not brainstorming, daydreaming, bro, about the next phase because I just knew this was temporary. If I get past this, I'm gonna be gone. I'm going to Nashville, Tennessee in the fall. I'm
Right.
gonna have me a great time, and then none of this like even gonna matter.
Right.
So I would say that, bro. And I was raised in church. You feel me? So
Right.
God covered me. You know,
Mm-hmm.
as much what neighborhood I'm from, bro, and I could honestly say I never got a finger laid on me, and I would be by myself on the buses,
Right.
the trains, and a lot of my friends, they don't gang bang, but everybody at least done got jumped once. It's like a rites of passage growing up in the city.
Yeah.
Never got jumped, never got stole on. Nobody was on, people was on
Right.
dummy with me, but it never got physical.
Power
I
off.
always was able to maneuver out those situations. So I just say I'm grateful to God, bro, for that.
Oh man, I want to because really honestly, the first question I asked, you kind of answer all the questions that I kind of like had prearranged for you, like everything, like how did it affect you? Did it mold you to the man you was today? Um, do you appreciate it even though it was rough? I had all those questions, so you kind of answered them. So now I'm kind of just like flowing and going off your conversation and what you're saying.
Yeah.
So when you said that you was like in your imagination, you was somewhere different. So
Right.
me, when I hear that, it's like, and I hear that you was planning, it was like you was visioning the life that you wanted to live.
Right.
Even you was here, you was present, you was physically there. You had to go through it. You knew, like you said, you knew it was a process. But you
Right.
was in your mentally and in your inside your spirit, you was somewhere else. You was in the next phase already.
Right.
It was already like, okay, this the next part of the plan. I have to accomplish these steps to get there, and that's something that's commendable.
Oh yeah, I
Had that
appreciate
type of vision at such a young age.
it. Right.
At 14, 15, 16 years old, we talking about, kids, and
Right.
you had that maturity, that mental maturity, and that
Yeah.
vision at a young age to see like, okay, this is just temporary. I'm here now, but I'm not here. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just
I was
going.
just always, I was just always ready for college, bro. Like I know it's weird. I be telling, Kanisha, like I was ready for college, like when Drumline came out. We were
Right.
like in fifth grade. We like in fifth grade when Drumline came out, bro. I feel like and
Facts
Stump the
though.
Yard came. I feel like Stump the Yard came out. We was like in ninth grade.
Yeah.
But like I said, I always knew I wanted to go to a black college. So
Right.
when I watched them movies, bro, they was like, it was amazing to me. Like it was so fun. I'm like, bro, I can't wait to experience it. So
Right.
I was like that a lot throughout a lot of the years of my childhood, bro, because I just couldn't wait to go to a black college. So I was always mentally there until I got there, like you said.
Yeah. And that's deep, because it just show how that you can really create the life, like you really live in a life that you envision as a
Mhm.
child. And like it showed like everything that you did, you was possessed by your vision. Like, man, I got to get to college. This is what I want to do. This is what I'm gonna do. And you didn't allow anything to interfere with with your vision. So from the gangs, the streets, the obstacles it's taken just for you to get back and forth from school and home,
Right.
just going through that obstacle on a daily basis, like you said, being scared, but still sticking with that vision and still having that vision and still keeping that. So now you a fourth grade teacher, right?
Right.
Correct? Fourth grade, right?
Right. Yeah.
So how do you convey that message to the young men or even the young women that you teach now? Like I know it's kind of young, but like you said, it was fifth grade when you knew what you wanted to do. So it's kind of like some of them now. How do you
Right.
kind of convey that or cultivate it or use your experience in growing up, how you were so young and was able to see that? How do you take that and give it to them? Like what's kind of some things that you do?
Man, I feel like my students, from my previous, these 2 years, because this second year about to wrap up, they were like I feel like a little more savvy. Like we were intelligent, but they are like, society is a little different now.
Yeah, definitely.
So college was kind of like expected of our generation,
Right.
but now it's almost like you're going to college. It's not almost like an option almost anymore. You
Mm-hmm.
feel what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
normal. So a lot of students, their parents, graduated from college or attended some college, graduate school. A lot of their parents like go home and getting graduate degrees online, stuff like that.
Right.
So they understand it more. So, I feel like you can talk to children, like they're like little babies. You know what I mean? Like you have to talk to them, not as if they're adults or like if they're babies. You have to find a median. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Talk to them about college. They know college exists because, like I said, they hear their parents talk about it and their older siblings. A lot of my students, their older siblings are away at school, so they know about college. They know what it is. They know it's like when you go away, you study, and
Right.
then you graduate. So I just talked to them about those things, my experience. They know I went to Fisk University, because I rep it every chance I get. So I got like banners and paraphernalia of my alma mater in my class. So they know all about that stuff just because of my conversation. And I just promote it by, I just talk about it, bro. It's nothing in particular that, I guess I say, I'll just tell them, like, I went to homecoming this past year, and my
Right.
students knew I was going to homecoming.
Mm-hmm.
So they were like, what's homecoming? I told them what it is. When you graduate from college and everybody kind of joins back, have a
Right.
good time with each other and everything.
Right.
So you converse with them, bro. They soak up everything. We always hear that the kids soak up all the information, but they really do. And like I said, they're very knowledgeable of what like higher education is because of their like family members and stuff. So I just talk to them about it, bro.
Oh man, okay. So I know for me having black male teachers, like to this day, like they still teaching me. The ones that I'm still connected with. Like shout out to Dr. Ali, of
Mm-hmm.
course.
Yes,
Yeah, Dr. Ali, that's like my favorite teacher all time.
yeah,
And he still to this day, like he's still one phone call away from me. So
right,
and he was able to see something in me that like nobody else was really able to see. Like he saw through the mask and through all the tough exterior, you know, and he saw like, now this like a smart kid. And he never really let up on me. So, and I really respected him and listened to him because he was a black man.
Right.
Anybody else who was like, whatever, you know, I hear you, but
Right.
you know, that was just always that feeling like, okay, but you don't really, I can't really relate to you. So I commend you for, you know, being in that role. And like, I know you, like, I'm not going to sit here and do this interview like I'm just, you know, meeting you and then like, I know you, we
Right.
talk,
Yeah.
you know, yeah. And like, you really,
Yeah.
like you really care, you really passionate about what you're doing. I remember even like the transition of you, you know, teaching
Right.
in the classroom and, you know, the other plans that you have for yourself, but ultimately where it led you to, and
Right.
seeing you fall in love with it and all that was really just it's a sight to see, I say, you feel me? So
Appreciate
with that, I want to, you know, make sure I kind of like cover everything with you so that the people could really get an understanding of who you are, because it's so many layers. It's like the time that we got is not enough, you know, because there's so many layers to you. Yeah, so many different things that you do. But kind of tell us about graduating from college when you got you hear my son, that's my son in the background, he crying. So we in the house, yeah, we're really in the middle of the pandemic right now, you know what I'm saying? Like literally, I'm in the bedroom. But
Yeah.
tell us about graduating from college, going to Chicago, working for the Chicago Defender, and
when I graduated from grad
transition. Yeah, definitely.
that was rough. So I graduated from Clark Atlanta University, you know, in 2016 with my master's in Black Studies, and I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. You feel me? So grad school for a lot of people kind of is almost like a filler. You feel me? Like if you don't have a plan, grad school is not going to help you. You know, like
Right.
as far as executing a plan, you can't execute a plan you don't have. So for me, I said I was only going to go to graduate school unless it was something I was passionate about. So I always loved Black history. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go get a degree in Black studies. You know, it was great, learned a lot of information, but when I graduated, I didn't, you know, I couldn't find a job, you know, because a lot of that is on me. Most of that is on me because I didn't know, you know, what I wanted to do. I didn't know if I was going to be a professor. Then I found out most of the time, if you're going to be a professor, you need a PhD, you know, so I was just real discouraged. So when I went back to Chicago, I started to substitute teach out of necessity. So I was unemployed, graduated in May, went back to Chicago in June, and from like June to October, I was unemployed. I started, I think my first day subbing in 2016 was like November 1st or something like that.
Okay.
And I didn't enjoy subbing in Chicago. It's just the truth. I didn't enjoy it, bro, because I thought I was gonna be like a college professor or something. So when I started subbing,
you had yet to embrace it, really.
right, I didn't know it was for me yet.
Yeah,
You feel
you
me?
were still like fighting it, like this
Right.
ain't right.
Nah, I wasn't even fighting it. Like I had zero interest at that time. You feel me? Like
Right.
my bro, one of my bros, he was subbing and he was getting bread. You feel me? Like he was able to buy a car and everything. And I was like, bro, I'm like subbing paying like that? He was like, yeah. So, and then I was like, you ain't gotta stay if the kid's bad, you can leave. And all that. He was like, yeah. I'm like, bro, I'm about to do this until I find a job. And I end up subbing the rest of that 2016, 2017 school year. And I became a permanent sub at one school, Murray Language Academy, from December to the rest of the year. That was a better experience for me because, you know, the kids knew me, so it was more consistent. But I still struggled a lot, especially with the olders, you know, from 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. You know, I struggled.
Okay.
But that experience was great, bro. Me and my mom was just talking about it a few days ago, actually, because if it wasn't for that year of subbing in Chicago, I know for a fact I wouldn't be the teacher I am now. And I still have a lot of learning to do. But, you know, when you sub, you don't get training. When you're a certified teacher, you learn. You went through, you study, you took exams to learn how to teach. I didn't have that.
So you was just in there, you in there winging it.
You know how you were in middle school, high school. I'm going back and forth with students, bro.
Right.
I'm arguing. They not scared. I'm like,
and you in Chicago, so
right. They were fearless. It was 5th graders that were fearless, bro. They didn't care who I was. So it was weird to me. You know, I'm arguing with little kids. I was like, what am I doing? But I learned so much, bro. You feel
Right.
me? A lot of times I
Yeah.
think, dang, if I could go back to uh, that year, I could have made more of an impact. But I didn't know, you know, so that experience was on purpose and everything. So, right, said all that to say, I started off in the field of education as a necessity because I needed income. I
Mm-hmm.
needed a job. Something that I didn't think I wanted to do. And then I
Right.
moved to North Carolina. I don't know if you remember that, bro, but I had to sub here for that first year. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
I had
Yeah.
to sub here for that first year. Remember how depressed I was with that? I felt
I
like I was
remember.
going
Yeah.
backwards.
Yeah.
I had to make less money in Chicago and I had to sub again, and I hated subbing.
Yeah.
Oh man, but subbing here was a much better experience, and I'm grateful for it, bro. So, right, you can graduate from graduate school. People, you can still be unemployed. You need to have a plan.
Yeah, definitely.
Degrees don't mean anything if you don't have a plan. You need to sit down. You need to have a plan. I thank Kanisha so much because she had that uncomfortable, you know, conversation with me, bro. And
Shout out to the queen.
right, what do you need? She like, what do you want to do? She was gonna help me look for jobs, but I can't help you look for jobs if you don't know what you want to
Don't know
do.
what you
Like,
want to do, right?
right, and I appreciate that. I'll never forget that conversation because she's definitely partially responsible for me getting to this next step, bro. So it was a
Nah.
journey. The people need to know, bro. A college degree is nothing without a plan.
Yeah, and that's really like dope that you say that because I'm super like I'm not anti-college, but
Right,
I took a different route, so
right.
um I'm like not really about going to work for nobody or getting no like I'm
Death to
not into
student
that.
loans. Death to them student loans, bro.
Yeah, like I'm not into that. So, but for me, like I said, I don't speak against college because that's something that my wife got a degree.
Right,
If my children grow up and decide they want to go to college, I'm embracing, I'm pushing for it, I'm gonna pay for it, I'm gonna do that. So I'm not against it. But I
right.
feel like everybody is not the path for everybody. And
It's
I
not.
feel like the things that I'm doing, I don't need a degree to do them.
Right,
But that's my path, that's your path. And like I said, but we all need it all because we need black men in the classrooms and then we need black men as entrepreneurs.
right,
So we need, because the kids gonna go to school, so we need some people to be there to represent us at
right,
that place. Like you
right,
can't be, everybody. You got to go through the traditional school system at some point. Some people it's not a different option. You can't homeschool. So these
right,
things are not options for some people. So we
right.
need people like you on the front line, in the battlefield, really, fighting to keep
Yeah,
us on track. I remember you told me a statistic one time. I don't want to say it wrong, but about the course of a young black male, if he had a black male teacher before like fourth grade.
yeah.
What is it?
I believe if I don't think it was just black male. If an African American student, male or female,
Okay.
got exposed to a black teacher
Mm-hmm.
or a black male teacher, like you said, uh, it's like I forgot what the statistic was, but they were much more likelier to graduate from college and at least to attend college if they had
Right.
that experience at a certain age.
Right. So that's
Because
major.
kids know if they like school by like third grade, bro, like fourth grade.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then, like you said, like it's the same way Dr. Ali, when you remember his classroom, he had the black colleges around. He had Mike, he had Spike Lee, he had all these different people and
right,
these different prolific faces in the classroom for us to see on a daily basis. So
right,
it's still people that I'm learning about to this day. And I'd be like, no, I remember that in the classroom. So that's who that was, or that's who he was talking about, or
right,
that's what it was. So the fact that they there and they could see it. So even if somebody don't even really remember Fisk right now, but when it's time for them to start applying for college, they'll
right,
remember you like, man, I remember that.
right.
It's what,
Definitely.
Mr.
Right.
Curry went.
Yeah.
And like, it's just that type of thing that's always there because they see it every day. They know about homecoming. They heard about it. They remember it
Right.
because you spoke on it. You actually shared your experiences with them.
Right.
So I want to, before we wrap it up, I want to just ask a couple more questions, like really for you, just to really see for the viewers, because like the title of the show is Transforming the Nation Podcast, with real conversations with real people about real things. So how do you feel about the lack of representation of Black men in education?
How do I feel about it?
Yeah. Like
Uh,
from you being on the inside, like you being able to see the effects, you being able to see like that it's only, like, I think you said it's 2 Black male teachers in your school.
right, out of like 40 some teachers, yeah.
Right. So when you see that and you're always like a part of the minority, the small minority. You like a unicorn in these in the
Right.
West. So like seeing the effects on, like, what, how do you feel about it? What do you think that like, what, just your cry for help? Like, do you think that we should really send more people that direction? People really need to think
Definitely,
about
bro.
going that, or like, what's your just your view on it? Like your like rant. Give a couple of minute rant on that. Yeah, just how you feel
We
about it.
we definitely need more men, more men in general, all
Mm-hmm.
races, especially Black men, in public education. But I don't blame Black men to this point, for not joining because
Right.
we're underpaid, bro. You feel me? Each
Okay.
state, each state, teachers get paid, the different
Different.
amounts. But traditionally, historically, our field is not known for being lucrative at all, right?
Exactly.
So as a Black man, you already, a minority, and then we attend college and everything. So a lot of times Black men go find the most lucrative field they can, right? They're
Mm-hmm.
trying, because they're trying to create their family, provide whatever they need to do. And historically, the field of teaching, not even a professor, but K through 12, historically doesn't pay well. So that's why we don't get a lot of Black men, and we don't get a lot of men in general. You feel me? Because my job is kind of looked at as babysitting to a lot of men and to a lot of people. Like I heard I've conversed with men, I hear about them talk about it and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Historically, teaching K through 12, especially K through 8, is like a woman's job,
Yeah.
like you
Yeah.
send kids to school. Because think about all the women teachers you had, Rollo, sit down, Nicholas, stop
Yeah.
talking, all that back and forth.
Yeah.
It's historically seen as a woman's job, but it's not. Impacting a child's life is not a woman's job. You feel me?
Exactly.
Playing a positive role in a child's life, and educating them to prepare them for their profession is not a lady's job. You know what I mean? So we first have to change the stigma that my job is on, is false. That stigma is false, like
Right.
I enjoy it and I love it. And I feel like because of that false stigma is the reason why we don't have many Black men, many men in general, especially Black men. And I'm here to tell you guys, if you guys are thinking about teaching, we need you seriously, because you have the power, you hold the keys to cultivate, uplift our Black students, the
Mm-hmm.
Black women, female students, and the Black male students. You feel me? Because
Definitely.
they need men role models, like how they need a man at home. If they don't have that man at home, you can be that positive role model in that child's life. You know
Definitely.
what I'm saying? And you're
Definitely.
teaching them academics too. And teaching is not just about academics. It's about life lessons,
Mm-hmm.
proper etiquette, critical thinking, being considerate of other people's feelings. You feel me? A good
All
teacher
these
doesn't
things.
just teach you math and reading, bro. You feel me? They're teaching you things that are going to help you build your character, help you
Exactly.
become an ethical person. And as long as people hear that, know what teaching is really about, because everybody has a teacher that was meaningful to them, right? If it wasn't Dr.
Everybody.
Ali for you, it was someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Every human being has a favorite teacher. So even so, those Black men, that are running away or they're kind of on a fence with this right now, they had a favorite teacher. You can be someone's favorite teacher. And whatever the stigma is about our field, you can help change it. We need you guys, man.
Facts. So that was I don't even really want to go too much further in after that. Like, you just made a real plea for the teachers, because now for real we really do need them, because like a lot of especially in these, like in the hood, in
Right,
Black communities where we from, like, is we underrepresented then already. And
right.
a lot of people not getting these tools that they need to be successful, upstanding citizens.
Right. And I just want to, I ain't
At
mean to cut
home.
you off, bro. It's just
Oh
something
yeah.
on my spirit. You feel me?
Oh yeah.
Something else. I'm sorry. They need to see us like the black man you said. They need to see us as the teacher, right?
Exactly.
It's a lot of black men at the schools. They're custodians. Much respect to the custodians. You know,
Talk
the
about
lunch
it.
men. Much respect to the men in the lunchroom. They need to see you as the teacher, bro.
Exactly.
Because how can they buy in to the instruction that you're teaching? You know, if they can see, if they see you and they like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I need to listen because I can be like him. You feel me? So you standing in front of them and teaching them, that's giving them that buy-in. Like, okay, I can do this. Like, let me try a little harder on this work. Like, I can be successful. Like, this is really possible. Like, my life circumstances. I mean, I know they're children, so they're not thinking all of that. But like,
Mm-hmm.
it shows them that it is possible, bro. So they need to see you in the school as a teacher
Exactly.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's everything, because that right there is what they gonna always remember. Is gonna mold them in life.
Right.
Like you said, they see it. It's a difference between, and like just being real. You know, if you in the hood, it's a difference between when a black man of come in and say something
Right.
of stature, of respect. You know what I'm saying? Not being ignorant, loud,
Right.
rah
On
rah,
bro.
gang
It's
gang. You know what I'm saying? All that, but just somebody that's upstanding, respect. Like people, you know, young kids, they
right.
submit to that. They look up to it. They
Right.
respect it. You know what I'm saying? They'll listen. You would be
Right.
able to talk to them. That's what you gonna do when you got their ear now.
And
But
you can speak firsthand because I work with younger children, you know what I mean? And you
mm-hmm.
have spoken in high schools. I've
Oh
never done
yeah,
anything with high school. The furthest I've ever taught was 8th grade. So you everything you're saying now, you can speak to it firsthand, you know, from speaking to
personally.
12th graders. And I've seen it, you know what I'm saying, having a room, everybody's just all eyes on you, listen to what you're saying, like you said, like they buy into that.
Yeah, because but you like you got to go in there and demand your respect with them, because sure them don't be playing. Them kids don't be playing. You like they treacherous, boy. They vicious for real. You better
They
know.
just want to be funny, bro.
Yeah, they do.
That's
But
what
man,
kills me. They just want to be funny.
it's they want attention. It's so many
Right,
different things. Like it's so much going on. Like the
right,
tough guy, you know what I'm saying, probably get the baddest one out the classroom. So like of course, you know, you want to be the toughest, you feel me? Like this what's in
yeah,
right now. Being the tough guy's in. So I'm gonna be the toughest of the tough, you know? But it's really just like going in. When I go in and I talk to them, I talk to them, I don't talk at them, I don't speak down at them. I put myself right in their position, in their shoes, you know, and let them know, like, man, I'm no different than nobody else here. You feel me? Like, the only thing that separate me from you is like the ages and the years that we was born. But at some point, I was in that chair, in that doing the same thing that you doing. So I was
right,
the tough guy. I was the
right,
knucklehead. I was the one giving the problems, giving it out. So I know how to handle you. Like, you know,
right.
like you, I know how to, you know, deal with it. And it's like I'm not gonna let no you as a man, you go in and you be the authority figure. You go in and you be a man. You
Just
let
by being who you are, right?
exactly, yeah. Like I'm a grown man. Don't play with me. You know, like I don't,
Right,
you know, I don't know who y'all used to getting in here, but like that's not what I do. You feel me? So we gonna try that with somebody else. Because when I was younger, I knew who to do it with. I knew which teachers to try. I knew which adult
right,
to say this. I knew who wasn't going for it,
right,
and I knew how to act. Like okay, here you
right.
come, man. Let me go ahead, go about my business. Somebody
Yeah.
else be like Mr. Terrell or something. Nah, man,
Yes.
watch out, man. You know, like, but so I knew. So
Yeah.
I be there like I be like, man, if that's how you behave, don't do that right now. I don't play that. But it'd be a respect thing. Like, man, I'm not finna yell at you. I ain't finna humiliate you, point you out, and
That's
put
the
you
buy-in
down
right
and
there.
all that. Yeah,
See, I
like,
didn't know that. I ain't know that, but in the back in the day, right? You ain't gotta exert yourself. They don't like
yeah,
that.
no,
You
because
making
now
a
that's a
division. You
challenge.
making a division when you do that.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
challenge. So Um, I'm gonna let I try to keep it real short and brief. So on the listeners and on the viewers and everything. But just to kind of like sum up the conversation and wrap everything up, man. Like it was really dope hearing about the experience. The interview kind of really went in a different direction somewhere that I didn't think it would go, as far as being more heavily based on the school and on the teaching and the
Right.
emphasis and the importance of it and the significance of it. So a few things that you said that I really want to let go off with my viewers that I really took from it was the fact that you had that vision at such a young age. And I
Right.
want everybody that's listening and everybody that's viewing to really understand the importance of having that vision. When you, like you said, you was in your imagination, you could
Right.
only imagine life. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't see it in real life. You couldn't see it with you. You was on the red line.
Oh,
You know
right.
what I'm saying? Seeing bums and
Right. Right.
this is what you seeing.
Gang.
Exactly on a daily basis. This is what you seeing. So you had to see this in your mind. So you had a vision, and you was there. Like, okay, I'm on this train, but I'm not here. I'm somewhere else. So I want everybody to know, like, you got to get the importance of having that vision and going back into yourself and reflecting, because a lot of us lose that vision as we get older. You lose your
Right.
imagination. Now
Right.
you start thinking realistically. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
need to be more realistic. You start
I
thinking
gotta
like,
pay this
I gotta
insurance.
pay this bill, right? I gotta pay this. You know what I'm saying? I got this rent coming
Yeah.
up. Like it's real life
Yeah.
issues that's happening. So you kind of lose that imagination. But I want everybody to know that, like, you got to keep that vision, because here we got Nicholas Curry that saw himself graduating from a black college in fifth
Right.
grade, and he did
Right.
it.
Right.
Met your beautiful lady there.
Right.
Building a strong foundation. Now you teaching, now you giving back to the community, you giving back, you paying it forward, you know what I'm saying? You helping develop the next generation of leaders.
Shout
So
out to God though, bro. Don't give me. Hey, my parents and God, bro. But like I had to have a determination. But
yeah,
God.
for sure. God, but that's what God gonna make the play.
Right.
You gotta execute it.
Right.
And you execute it.
Right.
So we know what God got his hand in, you feel me? But today we're giving you your flowers, man. You know what I'm saying? Giving you yours for sticking to it, because so many people get the vision, but not so many people follow it.
Appreciate that, bro.
So definitely I always keep that in mind, and I
You
always
already
push
know I'm
that.
proud of you. You already know I'm proud of you. So
Oh man, that's
look at
it
you, like
go without
look at this.
saying.
This is the real. What was that? 4 years ago, I was interviewing you. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? And look
yeah.
at the
The
how upward
transition.
you have went. You know what I'm saying? It's a blessing. It's beautiful to see. You feel me? So
Yeah, and
I
it's
just
up,
feel, man.
and that's the good thing. And we're gonna end on this about staying connected with good people that's growing. So just like I've been continuously progressing in life, you've been continuously progressing in life. Things
Right.
been growing. So stay connected. Like, we got to stay connected with each other. We got to continue to support each other. We always have to be there to help each other and to pull each other up along the way. Because it ain't no telling where I'm gonna go. You might take off before I do, or vice versa. We don't know.
Right.
But we just might be average Joes to just make an impact in our little
Right.
small worlds,
And
and
that's okay.
that's okay, exactly. But we
Right.
still got to stay connected and always make sure we do that. So I appreciate you, man. We appreciate you for being on the front lines, on the battlefield for us, and representing us well. You represent us well. When I say us, I mean Black men. To be able to see you, and you still, like, you young, you really living your vision, you got your degrees, you went through that process, you learn from your mistakes, and now you teaching the next generation. So, man, we salute you, man. So if
Appreciate it,
you
bro.
got anything coming, I know you write. Would you want to tell people how they can
Right.
see your weekly write-ups, anything, or
Um,
follow you,
uh,
anything you got coming up, your podcast? Shout it out before we go.
oh yeah, definitely, bro. The podcast is Break the Curse. You can find it on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, my brother, one of my best friends, Willie Fiskite, one college classmates. But we kind of just sit, we talk on things that we feel like have been plaguing the Black community, bro. You feel me? And we trying to return that cycle. So you guys can look up Break the Curse. You'll see my name, Nicholas Curry, on there. You can tune into that. My not writing weekly per se anymore with the Carolinians, more periodically since I got a lot of stuff going on.
Okay.
But in the midst of creating my professional social media pages, bro, it's time to almost put the personal ones aside. The glow up about to go to the next step, bro.
Yeah,
So
man. Yeah, get
everybody
out
will be
here.
in tune. I'll share all that, and then I know you'll share it. So
Yeah, definitely.
John Hope, I think John Hope gonna rock with this one, bro.
Oh yeah, definitely. Shout out to John Hope, man.
Yeah.
John Hope gonna rock with it. This major.
Look how unlikely this was,
For
right?
real though. For
I
real
know
though.
people be looking like, bro, what?
how they get cool, right?
Yeah, they weird or they fake cool.
Yeah, because you went
This social media cool.
right. Because this, for all the listeners, everybody, when Nick went to college, I went to prison.
Right.
And when he went to grad school, I went back to prison. And
Right.
when he was graduating from college, I was coming home from prison around the same time. And our paths kind of just lined up from there. Like we weren't even cool in high school. We ain't had no beef or nothing, but we just weren't cool. Like we
Right.
never rotated, but we
You
was
saved
always
my ass, bro. Your first that interview I did with you with the defender saved my ass. The publisher boy, she was on me, bro.
yeah.
And I was terrible at brainstorming. And I knew you. I seen you was
Right.
you had a clothing brand. I'm like, hey, you do an interview? You were like, yeah. I'm like, man, thanks.
For real.
That humiliation, bro. I appreciate it.
For real. Because ain't nobody never asked me to do an interview at that time. So that was like really God putting everything together. So I appreciate it, man. So we gonna let the people go, man. It was Nicholas Curry, just the Transformation Podcast with your host, Ronald C. Lee Jr.